The Aam Aadmi Party has made it very clear this isn't just interim bail that's been granted to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal after 50 days in Tihar prison. They say this is victory of truth, victory of democracy and victory of the constitution. The BJP on the other hand says that this is just interim bail for polls. Arvind Kejriwal remains accused in the Delhi liquor gate. But the fact remains, will this and how much will this boost the India Alliance's war when it comes to the 2024 elections? We get you the latest. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines on 5 Live. Arvind Kejriwal said to walk out of Tihar, bail conditions state he cannot visit the Chief Minister's office or the Delhi Secretariat, nor can he sign any official documents. Arvind Kejriwal also barred from commenting on the Liquorgate case. Congress leader Manishankar Ayyar triggers another controversy, says respect Pakistan or they can drop nukes. Union Home Minister Amit Shah hits back, says the Congress leader is threatening India on Pakistan's behalf, reiterates every inch of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is ours.
पाकिस्तान के पास से पाक ऑक्यूपाई कश्मीर लाने की जगह कांग्रेस पार्टी एटम बम की बात कर भारत की जनता को डरा।
Election Commission pulls up Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge in the voter turnout controversy. The EC warns Kharge, says bid to push a biased narrative is rejected. Big escalation in the quota war. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge says Prime Minister Modi is not reservation ka chowkidar. The Prime Minister hits back, says I'm the chowkidar of the deprived. That's the BJP's war cry now. Asaduddin Owaisi versus Navneet Rana. War of words escalates. Owaisi says his brother Akbaruddin is a cannon only he can control. BJP hits back, accuses Owaisi of harboring a Mughal mindset. Aam Aadmi Party leaders, workers, cadre are all heading towards Delhi's Tihar Jail, where Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is likely to be released any time now. He's been granted interim bail by the Supreme Court in the Delhi liquor policy case. Arvind Kejriwal has been granted interim bail till the 1st of June by the top court. And this means Arvind Kejriwal can campaign in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections in Delhi, and he can campaign for the India bloc. Of course, there are some conditions that have been set as far as this bail is granted. He cannot talk about this case. He cannot sign documents unless essential. He cannot visit the Delhi Chief Minister's office or the Delhi Secretariat. Our legal bureau with our top story.
Is celebrations for the Aam Aadmi Party. "51 days after he was put behind bars in the liquor policy case, 2 weeks ahead of Lok Sabha polls in Delhi, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is walking out of Tihar Jail. The Supreme Court on Friday granted interim bail to Kejriwal till June 1st. Kejriwal's lawyers requested the top court to grant interim bail until the results for the polls are announced on June 4th, but the Supreme Court refused. This means that Kejriwal can campaign for AAP in India bloc. It's a big boost for party ahead of elections in Delhi and Punjab.
The court indicated through a very short oral order that we are now ordering the interim release of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and that order will operate until the 2nd of June. That is, he'll have to surrender on 2nd of June. And that there will be no conditions on his campaigning in terms of what he can say and what he cannot say. political, non-political, etc. In fact, as the order was being pronounced, the lawyers of Enforcement Directorate asked for a restriction to be imposed that he will not talk about this case. But that also the court did not accept, and the court was of the view that no restrictions are in order in terms of his campaigning, and they cannot restrict political speech.
The ED had argued against the interim bail. In an affidavit in the Supreme Court, the central agency said that the right to campaign for elections was not a fundamental right. AAP has cancelled all its Sankalp Sabhas planned in Delhi after interim bail granted to Kejriwal. The party will chalk out a new strategy after his release, with Kejriwal going to be the star campaigner.
केजरीवाल जैसे कम्युनिकेटर जो अपनी बात को बहुत सरल भाषा में कह पाते हैं, एक स्ट्रैटेजिस्ट अगर जेल से बाहर आते हैं तो 21 दिनों के अंदर मुझे लगता है वो पूरे चुनाव को पलट सकते हैं.
The India bloc has welcomed the relief granted to Kejriwal. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, NC patron Farooq Abdullah posted messages in support of Kejriwal.
We welcome the intervention by the Honorable Supreme Court in granting the bail to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. We also hope that the Prime Minister gets enough time after 4th of June, when he becomes the former Prime Minister of India, to introspect sitting in Sabarmati Ashram at the kind of politics he has indulged into.
The BJP played down the relief given to the AAP chief.
चुनाव प्रचार करने की अनुमति मिली है और उसके बाद फिर वहीं जाना है. तो कई बार अपराधियों को पैरोल पे छोड़ा जाता है. माननीय न्यायालय का निर्णय उसका हम स्वागत करते हैं और अंतरिम जमानत मिलने का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप अपराध मुक्त हो गए.
Meanwhile, the ED is expected to file his first charge sheet, naming Kejriwal as an accused in the Delhi excise policy. The agency alleges that Kejriwal was the kingpin of the scam and was directly involved in demanding kickbacks from liquor barons.
The top court also pointed out that ED had registered its case 2 years ago and that Kejriwal was only arrested in March 2024. Earlier also, the court had recognized Kejriwal as the elected chief minister of Delhi and not a habitual offender, and had said that there are elections and these are extraordinary circumstances and he is not a habitual offender. With camera person Jagannath from New Delhi, this is Kanu Sarda for India Today.
Very interesting observations by the Honorable Court. These are extraordinary circumstances. He's an elected chief minister of the Delhi state. He's not a habitual offender. So what next for Arvind Kejriwal? India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground. India Today has the best panel of experts joining us on this special broadcast. So I have Shreya Chatterjee joining us from outside Tihar Central Prison. Amit Bharadwaj is live at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Srishti Ojha joins us from the Rouse Avenue Court. We also have Shubh Malhotra of the Aam Aadmi Party joining us. Syed Zafar Islam is Member of Parliament and spokesperson of the BJP joining us. Sanjay Jha will give us was former spokesperson of the Congress Party, a political analyst, and Raghav Avasthi is a lawyer and a political analyst joining us on this show. But I quickly want to cut across right now to what's happening outside Tihar Jail. Shreya Chatterjee joins us. Shreya, have the documents all reached Tihar Jail? How quickly does Arvind Kejriwal come out of prison now?
Well, Gaurav, the documents, that is the order, has reached Tihar Jail. The primary reason we are seeing that the entire process will be a little faster is because they are not going the route of the trial court. In the order itself, it was clearly written that the bail's bond or the security will be given to the jail superintendent, and because of the same reason, the legal team of Arvind Kejriwal along with Sandeep Pathak has already reached inside the premises of the Tihar Jail at least 15 to 20 minutes back. So the process has begun. We are expecting that the entire process to finish will take 1.5 hours. So any time between 6 to 7, we will be seeing Arvind Kejriwal stepping out right in front of this gate, which is gate number 3. You can see security also stepped up over here, barricadings put in place to ensure traffic movement is not halted. And in the meantime, you're also also hearing Aam Aadmi Party supporters along with Sunita Kejriwal is also expected to reach Tihar shortly, and this is the very gate from where Arvind Kejriwal will be released anytime between 6 to 7.
Saurabh Bharadwaj had said that Arvind Kejriwal is an excellent communicator, Amit. He said, though this bail is only for 21 days, it's interim bail, but these 21 days are extremely crucial. So does the Aam Aadmi Party already have a strategy in place? How will they harness every hour of these 21 days in Delhi, Punjab, or is it also elsewhere? Amit?
Gaurav, you know, when it comes to Aam Aadmi Party, all of us know that the strategist in command is Arvind Kejriwal and the poll strategist, the slogan expert is Sanjay Singh. Both of them were behind the bars, but in the past 15 days, see as to how things have changed. You know, first Sanjay Singh stepping out of Tihar Jail, boosting the morale of the Aam Aadmi Party workers. And I was here at that very day when Sanjay Singh had reached and, you know, addressed the workers, Aam Aadmi Party workers, and given that slogan which became the clarion call of Aam Aadmi Party, jail ka jawab vote se. Now, the strategist in command, the national convener of Aam Aadmi Party, will be stepping out of Tihar Jail. And after that, you know, nobody knows as to what is going to be the next step of Arvind Kejriwal. I'm literally telling you this because the party workers are not sure as to whether Arvind Kejriwal will be reaching here at the national headquarters, whether he'll go to the home or to Hanuman Temple, where he's often seen the Hanuman Temple in CP, the iconic temple of the national capital. So, the moment he steps out, one thing is for sure, that the campaign mode of Arvind Kejriwal will begin from there. And why I'm saying this is the entire focus of Aam Aadmi Party has now shifted to Tihar Jail. All the Sankalp Sabhas, the campaigning for the Lok Sabha for today has been put on hold. Every worker has been asked to rally to the Tihar Jail, and we are given to understand that the moment Arvind Kejriwal steps out of Tihar Jail, you will see a sea of cars out there at Tihar to welcome Arvind Kejriwal, the national convener of Aam Aadmi Party. And at the party office, several of the Karyakartas who had already reached here, the moment they heard about the interim bail, they're excited, they're in celebratory mode. Gaurav.
And the cadre have all been asked to reach, the supporters, the party workers, the cadre, they've all been asked to reach Tihar Jail. News just coming in, Arvind Kejriwal's release process is currently underway at the Tihar prison. Arvind Kejriwal to walk out of jail shortly. We're also being told Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal is en route Tihar prison, and the Aam Aadmi Party has planned a mega welcome for Arvind Kejriwal. They know this will be broadcast almost across the country and will have an impact, whether it's in Delhi or in Punjab or elsewhere. So where all does Arvind Kejriwal intend to campaign? He's not allowed to speak about this case, but he can speak. There are no restrictions on his campaigning. Those are the extraordinary circumstances that the judiciary also spoke of. Milan joins me now from Tihar Jail, and I believe anytime now Sunita Kejriwal is reaching. A large number of Aam Aadmi Party workers and supporters have also reached. Milan, bring us details of the preparations that are underway, Milan.
Well, Gaurav, it is expected that a lot of Aam Aadmi Party Karyakartas will be reaching the Tihar Jail. Let me just show you. I am outside gate 3 at the moment, and moment by moment the security is being quickly beefed up over here because they are anticipating a lot of crowds, which is why we have security personnel on standby as well. One side of containment for the media has been created on that edge. One side is over here, and let me tell you that yes, the entire traffic flow of this road has also increased. We are just outside the Tihar Jail, and this is where Sanjay Singh was the first leader who got bail in the liquor policy scam case came out from, and this is where he came out from. So exactly here is where all the roads were chock-a-block and barricaded at that point of time. But we're expecting more show and celebration for Arvind Kejriwal. The tallest leader of Aam Aadmi Party is going to step out of the Tihar Jail. And as you just mentioned, yes, the release process is currently underway. The orders of the court have reached Tihar Jail. Jail. Sandeep Pathak, member of the Aam Aadmi Party as well, and MP is also inside with the lawyers at the moment. It will take about 2.5 hours or so for the entire process to take place. But since the Supreme Court
so it could take another 2.5 hours.
at the
Stay with
time
me for a moment. Srishti, is this a setback for the Enforcement Directorate? Because they vehemently opposed bail to Arvind Kejriwal.
Well, definitely, Gaurav. The Enforcement Directorate not only opposed interim bail to Arvind Kejriwal during the hearing before Supreme Court, they had very specifically filed an affidavit without even the top court having asked for it before Supreme Court a day before hearing. Yesterday, the affidavit was filed clearly saying that no interim bail, no special concession should be granted to Arvind Kejriwal only because he's the Delhi Chief Minister, only because he's a politician, because campaigning is not a fundamental right. In fact, it's not even a legal right. So to give a political concession to a politician in this manner will set a very wrong precedent according to ED. This is what ED had said. However, Supreme Court has not agreed with ED's argument at all. According to Supreme Court, earlier also court has dealt with these such cases where such reliefs have been granted. Court has cited the case of Chandrababu Naidu where similar relief was granted to politicians. And not just that, according to court, it will be wrong to say that a concession is being granted to Kejriwal because all these cases have to be decided after considering peculiar circumstances of each and every matter, which is exactly what the Supreme Court has done in this case.
And the court also remarked that the investigation started in 2022. They could have questioned Arvind Kejriwal through 2022. Why did they wait for a year and a half? Syed Zafar Islam, the Aam Aadmi Party, says this is one, victory of truth, two, victory of democracy and constitution, and defeat, according to the Aam Aadmi Party, of dictatorship.
Well, Gaurav, I think they should speak to some constitutional expert. You just take a view of the constitutional expert and they will tell you that there is a violation of Article 14. Somehow everyone feels that our Supreme Court has been extremely generous. I mean, we do not want to make any statement against the order which has been passed by the Honorable Supreme Court, but I'm talking about the constitutional experts, what they feel that Supreme Court has been extremely generous while granting him interim bail, and our party should not celebrate it. It is a temporary measure which has been taken by the Honorable Court, and he has to. This is unprecedented, and this is one of its kind where the bail has been granted. He has been also asked to surrender on 2nd of June. So barely 3 weeks have been given an exceptional case which the Honorable Supreme Court has mentioned, that as an exception they are giving this kind of courtesy to Arvind Kejriwal, and 3 weeks for campaign. But same courtesy has not been extended to many others, like a tribal leader Hemant Soren. Hemant Soren has not been extended the same courtesy. Likewise, the Manish Sisodia has not been extended the same courtesy. Why the exception has been made for Arvind Kejriwal is something which everyone would want to know. And as I said, the constitutional expert feels there is a violation of Article 14 and this shouldn't have been done.
Fair enough, we'll get Raghav Avasthi to weigh in on that. But Shubh Malhotra has a huge smile. Has a huge smile on her face. Shubh Malhotra, the BJP says it's just interim bail for a specific period of time. It's not innocence that's been proven in a court of law.
Well, the first thing I would like to say is that, with the 21st March arrest of Arvind Kejriwal, it was very, very clear the things that transpired post that not only did BJP drop its foot on the axe, but not only did BJP drop the axe on the foot, but actually dropped its foot on the axe. Because all that transpired, how Aam Aadmi Party went to the streets and sought people's support, and how people thronged our rallies and people thronged all our road shows and came out. So actually it became quite evident that with the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal, the tide turned, and people suddenly understood that the Bharatiya Janata Party, through ED and through other constitutional forces, are trying to undermine the constitution, undermine the democracy, and undermine the mandate of the people. And which is why today, in particular, is a victory for our constitution. It is victory for the democracy. It is a victory for the people of Delhi, victory for the people of India, because not just is it ED which vehemently opposed this bail. Yes. And despite that, the Supreme Court went ahead and gave this bail, because the Supreme Court understands probably that their fundamental right to freedom, not just of any individual, but also of a sitting chief minister, it is sacrilege to even one day violate that right that has been given to him basis our constitution. And he is out right now on interim bail, despite the vehement opposition, and despite, he is a sitting chief minister. He is 3 times chief minister of Delhi, thumping majority. The courts made the comments. I'll just complete in 1 second. The courts made the comments of the suspect timing of his arrest, of the suspect timing at the cusp of elections. It was very evident that it was there to deliver a body blow to Aam Aadmi Party, but something entirely reverse happened.
Quickly, Syed Zafar Islam, before I bring in Raghav Avasthi.
Something entirely, so I'll just quickly complete. Something entirely in the reverse happened, and the people of Delhi have turned out in frogs and supported Arvind Kejriwal for this.
Okay.
No.
Syed Zafar Islam.
I don't know why the AAP leaders or the Karyakartas are celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate. He has not been proved innocent. It is just a temporary measure which has been taken by the Honorable Supreme Court. And he has to go back to the prison, go back behind the bar on 2nd of June. So what is there for you to thrill with joys? Having said that, what we feel, as a citizen, that many of the constitutional experts are also feeling that while Hemant Soren had followed the constitutional morality.
Sir, you made that point. Let me get Raghav Avasthi.
Other person as chief minister still his case not been taken seriously.
The
Raghav
first thing that we need to point out is that Mr. Kejriwal has not been granted this right to sign any files as chief minister. Yes, please. Thank you. So Mr. Kejriwal is not going to be signing any files as chief minister. This is not a carte blanche to him to continue as chief minister. So these are the first 2 things that need to be pointed out. The Supreme Court has very clearly said that he is not supposed to sign any files. So technically, even though he's out on bail so that he can campaign for 3 weeks, he's not chief minister anymore as on date. The second point that we need to make is this. The Aam Aadmi Party in 2019 and 2014, I think their tally over these 2 elections is less than, 5 or 6 Lok Sabha seats. That's, all that they have ever won. So to say that for somebody like Arvind Kejriwal, I don't think it's actually that big a political event. He's a bit of a political nobody when it comes to Lok Sabha elections. On the one hand, we have people who have actually won many state elections across the country and who have won 590 seats over the last 2 elections. How many seats has Arvind Kejriwal won? What is he really worth? So I think as on date, we should actually be focusing on and discussing the elections that are about to take place in Andhra Pradesh and the other states.
That's for the voters to decide, and we do. Sir, permit us to decide what makes news. Fair enough. You have a view on that. You may have a view on that. Raghav Avasthi, the fact remains, the Aam Aadmi Party says, despite all efforts of the Enforcement Directorate, bail was granted. Shubh Malhotra respond to Raghav Avasthi and the BJP saying the courts have been more than kind to Arvind Kejriwal, the same courtesy not extended according to the BJP.
More importantly, what will he even do?
I have always found it.
Okay, Raghav Avasthi, you made your point. Shubh Malhotra is responding before I bring in Sanjay Jha.
I have always found it amazing how BJP always feels that their comments are always over and above what the Supreme Court of India is trying to say. It just shows a very misplaced sense of superiority, which I think that the people are going to teach them a lesson about in the coming elections, because the people have understood that with these arrests like Arvind Kejriwal's arrest, Hemant Soren's arrest, at the cusp of elections, to deliver a body blow to the parties that threatened him. Because I take offense to the fact that he's insulting the mandate of the people of the country by saying that Arvind Kejriwal is a nobody because he is the chief of a national party. And I think, I don't know what hole that BJP is living in, that their people are sitting over here and saying that he's a nobody, because the amount of crowd and the amount of public that have turned out, not just on social media, not just on mainstream media, but not all on the streets of Delhi and around, that it is testament to the fact that they have. You are interrupting me. Let me complete. You can
speak when it's your turn. I bring in Sanjay Jha into this conversation.
You can speak when it's your turn. So people along with the AAP have come and they are on the streets and. Relax.
Sir, the moment she finishes her point. Sir, the moment she finishes her point.
The fact remains that you are not letting me speak because, see,
permit me to moderate the moment she completes.
I know it's a difficult day for Bharatiya Janata Party because it has become very evident and clear how their efforts at undermining the democracy of the country have been defeated by the actions of Supreme Court. So I know it's a difficult day for you, but
fair
I'm sure
enough. But let me also bring Sanjay Jha into this conversation, because Sanjay Jha, the BJP, says that India Alliance is celebrating. There are two things here. One, Arvind Kejriwal is on interim bail. Two, it's conditional bail. He cannot talk about this case. Three, the BJP spokesperson and Rajya Sabha MP Syed Zafar Islam, you just heard, he says the courts are making a distinction. Extra kind to Arvind Kejriwal, not kind to Hemant Soren.
Gaurav, I'm sorry, but I have been in a bad traffic jam, which is why I couldn't be at my home to do the call. But I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me
loud
clearly?
Loud and clear. Strength 5, sir. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Gaurav, I want to make just two short points. Number one, Arvind Kejriwal, the case against him is frankly speaking a great shock to many people, because they saw the background to the case where Sharath Reddy, who was the earlier kingpin of the Delhi liquor scam, astoundingly turned into an approver. The ED did not object to the bail. He then actually blamed Arvind Kejriwal, and he and his company donated 55 crores to the BJP electoral bonds. So I think the people of this country are aware that we will wait for the Supreme Court to find its final verdict on the accusations against him. But prima facie, people know that this is probably a highly politically motivated case. Now, when he's getting a bail, although it is only an interim bail, I can tell you that across the length and breadth of this country, and I do believe that AAP is a very critical member of the India Alliance. And Arvind Kejriwal, Gaurav, even his worst critics have to point out, is a brilliant orator, someone who speaks with a lot of conviction, and I think is a real middle-class hero. You can't ignore him at all, and I do understand why the BJP is sounding nervous today, because Arvind Kejriwal will provide the ammunition and the arsenal that the India Alliance needs to now cross the line. The BJP is seeing the writing on the wall.
Respond, Syed Zafar Islam. From Saurath Bharadwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party to Sanjay Jha, a political analyst and former spokesperson of the Congress, they're saying that these 21 days will be very crucial. Arvind Kejriwal is a good orator and he can change things or influence the voters in favor of the India Alliance and not just in Delhi or Punjab.
I don't think it will have any impact on the outcome of the election result. We are confident of our victory. We know exactly we are being blessed by the people of this great country. They have a lot of admiration for the Honorable Prime Minister. They understand that there is a Prime Minister who delivers consistently. Last 4 years have been delivering for last 10 years. And India is fortunate to have a Prime Minister like him who has ensured that every single citizen and their interests has been safeguarded, and India, in the eyes of the global community, also seen as no more a soft nation but a very strong nation. So every Indian would want to vote for the Bharatiya Janata Party and for the Prime Minister, and So whether Kejriwal is inside or outside, it doesn't matter as far as the outcome is concerned. But he is not, let me also highlight it, that he is not been given entry bail as the Chief Minister of Delhi, because he has been restriction, lot of restriction is there for him to come out and do not perform as the Chief Minister, but as a convener of his party. That's why he has been granted bail, so that he can campaign. It is a temporary measures.
Okay.
There is nothing to celebrate. I think they will have
the Aam Aadmi Party is celebrating.
Because
the Aam Aadmi Party is celebrating in a very big way.
His interim bail will have no impact on the consequences.
Okay, you say it will have absolutely no impact on elections. I'll get Shubh Malhotra to respond to that. I want to bring in Raghav Awasthi on the legal point. And Raghav Awasthi strictly on the legal point that Syed Zafar Islam made. He said the courts have been more than kind to Arvind Kejriwal. That's his point. Point one. Point two, he says there's a distinction that's been drawn. Kindness to Arvind Kejriwal, not so kind to another Chief Minister or former Chief Minister Hemant Soren of Jharkhand, a tribal leader. How do you respond on the legal aspect of this?
I think if I speak purely as a lawyer, then I think there is enough scholarship that the Supreme Court often tends to speak in different voices depending upon who's on the bench. And so therefore, I mean, of course, there is this problem with the whole doctrine of stare decisis and how it is applied. So this is probably all that I'm going to say as a lawyer. But as far as the political aspect is concerned, one thing is very important, which is that the Supreme Court has very clearly said that Mr. Kejriwal cannot perform his duties as Chief Minister.
Okay.
I think if we acknowledge that he is being let out on interim bail so that he can function as a campaigner, then we have to also acknowledge that he won't be able to sign any files or function as Chief Minister, and he can also not meet any witnesses. So I think what happens in a lot of such cases is, in case of interim orders, they are structured in such a way that, and now I'm speaking purely as a lawyer, not as a whatever, as somebody who was in the BJP's campaign committee. These interim orders are often structured in such a way that both parties can claim something for their own respective selves. So I think
fair enough, but Shubh Malhotra, the Aam Aadmi Party, with Sunita Kejriwal heading to Tihar Jail, the way Sanjay, when Sanjay Singh was released from jail, I was anchoring even that day, and the entire pomp and show around the release. What is the Aam Aadmi Party's plan, and what impact, according to you, will this have? Will it be restricted to Delhi and Punjab, or will he also travel elsewhere?
See, everybody in India acknowledges today that Arvind Kejriwal is his own political force in his own right. Aam Aadmi Party is its own political force. Within 10 years, we became a national party, and we are our own. We have our own standing in India Alliance and across the country. And as far as 2024 general elections is concerned, three main turning points that really changed the tide will forever be remembered. One is the release of Sanjay Singh, which shows how frivolous this liquor scam is. The second is the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal, which really turned the tide in favor of India Alliance, because it shows that how BJP is again and again undermining the constitution, and even people who were against Aam Aadmi Party have started finding sympathy and place in their hearts for Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal.
Will that actually happen? Will it turn the tide? We'll be tracking that story very closely. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me.